I'm hearing a lot of chatter about Lensa AI, and I'm getting a lot of people asking me if I've used it, if I endorse it, if I think it's safe. So let's get into it. For those of you who don't know, Lensa AI falls under the category of generative AI. And generative AI creates something. It composes music, it writes a blog post or creates an article. It can create artwork or photographs, and Lensa AI does just that. To use Lensa, you download the app, you pay $7, you upload 10 to 20 photos, and then its artificial intelligence will create pictures of you based on the photographs that you uploaded. Now, in all fairness, I have had some friends who have had some great experiences with Lensa AI. They really love the pictures that have come out, and they want to be a part of what's happening with artificial intelligence, and that I totally understand. But I also have friends who have put in some pictures, and Lensa has returned to them photos that are horrifying. Now, there are a couple reasons I think that we need to be careful with Lensa AI. One of them is that you are literally paying them to give them your data. And they say, I've read their entire privacy policy, they say very explicitly in their privacy policy that they are using your photos to train their neural networks. Let me grab it. Here's a screenshot of Section 5 of their privacy policy, which is about how they use your collected data. And it says right here, to train our neural network algorithms. We use your photos and videos to train our algorithms to perform better and to show you better results. We have a legitimate interest to do so, and we do our best to minimize the data that we receive and not to override the rights and freedoms of users in this regard. Everybody has access to this privacy policy. Just go to lensa-ai.com/privacy and you can take a look for yourself, but I know most people aren't going to read it. To Lensa's credit, this privacy policy is written in common language, which means you don't have to be a lawyer to understand it. So good for them for doing that. So I think that there are some things here that I would call a little bit usurious. You've got artificial intelligence, generative AI that they're using, and you're paying money to give them your data. So you're giving them money and you're giving them your pictures. And they're using your pictures to train their algorithm so that it performs better, so that they can make more money in the future. And in addition to that, they're very plain about saying, we collect your data and we're gonna use that to advertise to you in whatever ways we want to. So not only are you paying them, but you're also giving them information that's gonna make them more money. You're not getting anything out of this except for a couple of, AI generated pictures. And maybe that's worth it for you, but let's talk about those pictures. It's understandable that people think it's cool that they can give artificial intelligence 10 to 20 photos and then get a picture of themselves as a fairy goddess. But I want you to think about two different things. There are the photos that you put in that are helping to train their algorithm. But their algorithm also has another function, which is modifying your photos and your face to come out on the other side with a different version of you. So let's put aside the data conversation for a second. Let's just talk about the output. Let's talk about the photos that are generated by this AI. Women are reporting that they're noticing a difference between the photos that are generated of men and the ones that are generated of women. The men's photos tend to seem a little bit more like the guys are rock stars. They're very cool, they're very sleek. The women are reporting that their photos are coming out on the other side looking super sexualized. Someone sent me this Instagram post from the Riveter Co., and one of their employees, Rachel Sklar, did some deep diving on Lensa this weekend, and so this brings us to a big conversation about bias with the Lensa app, because algorithmic bias exists. If somebody writes that algorithm so that it will create images of women where their breasts are enormous constantly, that is a bias. That's not reflective of the women who are actually giving their photos to this app. So I think that we have some things to think about when it comes to which apps we're paying, what we're giving them in terms of photos, and then what we demand in return in terms of representation.